Okay, look. With the talent the Texans have, they can easily beat any team in the league. But with the way they've been playing, they can easily lose to any team in the league, and that includes the Cardinals and the Bills. They're that bad. So now that I've got that out of the way, let's get into these matchups. Let's start off with the Colts rushing attack versus the Texans run defense. The Colts have the 29th ranked rushing attack. They average 83 yards per game. The Texans run defense is ranked 20th in the league. They average 112 yards per game allowed. And the way I see this matchup playing out, I don't think the Colts will win it, but I also don't think the Texans will win it either. I feel like it's going to be an up and down type of day for the Colts in the rushing game. And that's due to the most part, I feel like the Texans do a decent job clamping down on the run. But it's just these certain occasions where these holes just open up wide open and the running back's able to get 15-20 yards. I mean, we saw it against Saquon Barkley. It's mostly due to Watt being over aggressive, and he creates these wide open holes for the running backs to take advantage of. I feel like those opportunities will be there for the Colts this Sunday, and I feel like they'll definitely take advantage of them. So, again, I see it being an up and down day for the Colts in the run game. Now, in the pass game, the Colts are ranked 23rd in the league. They average 207 yards per game. And the Texans' pass defense is ranked 14th in the league. They allow an average of 238 yards per game. This matchup, honestly, I see Andrew Luck probably having his best game of the season so far. I think Eric Ebron will go off now that Dylan Cole is going to be out for a while with his injury. If you guys didn't know, Dylan Cole is going to miss some time. He went on IR. He has a dislocated wrist, and that really sucks. So I think Eric Ebron's going to have a career day, perhaps, because Zach Cunningham has been playing pretty bad, and I feel like the Colts are going to try to get Ebron matched up on Zach Cunningham to take advantage of that matchup. So I think Luck will probably have his best game against the Texans pass defense this week. Now, the Colts pass protection, their offensive line, versus our pass rush. The Colts offensive line, without a doubt, has improved. Quentin Nelson, my God, dude. The guy is so dominant. You can literally make an argument that he's a top 3 guard in the league already. I mean, the guy is straight up nasty. He's dominant. And, yeah, I know DJ Reader's good. I know Covington's pretty good. I know Watt's good. But Quentin Nelson, he'll win his matchups. He is that good. The Texans, on the other hand, they've gotten 7 sacks. 3 of them have been Watts. 2 of them have been Readers. Whitney Merciless and Jadeveon Clowney have been non-existent so far. Will they show up? I don't know. But I'm one of those people that you have to show me before I believe it. So I'm not going to assume they show up. And another thing to mention, Andrew Luck hasn't really been throwing downfield that much. He's been doing shorter passes. So I feel like the Colts are going to, get the ball out quick passes to neutralize the Texans' pass rush. It's what the Giants did. It worked to some extent. I feel like the Colts will do the same thing too. Now let's move on to the Texans' offense versus the Colts' defense. The Texans' run offense is ranked 8th in the league. They average 124 yards per game. But you have to consider some of that is because Deshaun Watson does scramble. So the numbers are definitely skewed in favor of the Texans. And the Colts' run defense is ranked 15th in the league. They allow an average of 106 yards per game. Similar to the Texans' defense, I feel like this is going to be an up and down day for the Texans' run offense. Now let's move on to the Texans' passing offense versus the Colts' passing defense. The Texans are ranked 13th in the league with an average of 271 passing yards per game, and the Colts passing defense is ranked 15th in the league with an average of 241 yards per game allowed. Now, the way I see this matchup turning out, Deshaun Watson will absolutely shred the Colts defense in between the 20s. In the second half versus the Titans and versus the Giants, when Deshaun Watson's finally able to get the offense going, he's been able to, move the ball at ease. But the problem is, once they get into that red zone, the drive stalls. And again, how I said earlier, until the Texans prove otherwise, I am predicting that the same thing will happen again. The Texans will move the ball at ease in between the 20s, but penalties, bad plays, bad play calls, bad execution, turnovers, they're going to stall the Texans' drive, or they're going to end the Texans' drive. Field goals probably going to be kicked when you should be kicking a PAT after you score the touchdown. But it's just the way I see it being played out, honestly. Now, the Texans pass protection versus the Colts pass rush. The Texans have allowed 10 sacks so far. The Colts have gotten 10 sacks so far. The way I see this matchup playing out is, yes, I know Marius Hunt has been having a pretty good year, a career year. Jabal Sheard always gives the Texans offensive tackles trouble. If things continue how they're going, I expect the Colts to have a day, honestly. Because we already know our offensive tackles are bad. They're really just not good. And I mean, you gotta leave them out there because they're young. Gotta let them learn. But it sucks for Watson because he will be running for his life unless Bill O'Brien can stop calling terrible plays on first and second down that puts Watson in terrible situations on third and long to allow the Colts to get pressure on Watson to get those sacks. Unless that changes, unless Julian Davenport stops being dumb and getting all these false starts, I don't see that changing. I see the Colts absolutely having a day on these Texans offensive tackles. Because, again, until it's proven otherwise, I don't see it changing. Now, the keys to the game. No bad plays on first and second down. O'Brien, since you got here, besides maybe year one when you had an elite running back in Arian Foster, since you got Lamar Miller, running plays down the A-gap do not work. They just don't. Especially last week that Sunil Kelemeti was out for the game. They just don't work. Stop doing that. Screen passes to your wide receivers, they've also haven't worked. They worked once against Seattle last year. But okay, other than that, they haven't worked. Stop calling those plays. Stop putting Deshaun Watson in third and long situations. Stop that. The second key to the game. Score touchdowns in the red zone. Again, in the second half of games, the Texans have been moving the ball at ease, but the play, for some reason, it always stalls. Whether it's penalties, whether it's turnovers, bad play calling, point is, they always stall. Score touchdowns in the red zone. The third key. No slow starts in the first half. I don't know what you have to do, O'Brien, but this team cannot keep starting slow. The team is usually in a hole to start off the second half, and that's not good. And the fourth and final key, for God's sake, O'Brien, or someone, teach Julian Davenport how to count. These pre-snap penalties, they're annoying. They put your already anemic offense in an even harder place to come out of. Teach them how to count or something. Like, Davenport has literally accounted for 25% of the Texans' accepted penalties. He's that bad. He's been doing that bad, and it's got to stop. Now, my prediction for the game. I am going 20-18, the Colts win. Again, how I've been saying the whole video. Until the Texans prove otherwise, until they play up to their potential, I will not believe in them. I will not predict things changing until the Texans actually go out there and do something about it themselves. I will not predict a Texans win until they go out there and get a win. Until they show me that they're capable of doing that, the Texans will lose this game. I feel like Deshaun Watson will drive down the field late in the game, another 2-minute drill. He will go get the touchdown, but O'Brien will call a terrible play on a 2-point conversion, and the Texans aren't going to get it. The Texans do not execute the 2-point conversion play to take it to overtime. So those are my predictions for this Colts game. Comment down below your own predictions. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.